Creepshow is a horror movie that's near and dear to my heart. Not only did it help introduce me to the EC horror comics of the 50s, it was just the perfect horror film for a kid like me at the time. Like Tales from the Crypt, but a little wackier. Unfortunately, Creepshow 2 didn't really have the same level of quality as the first one. The cinematography felt cheap, the stories, with the exception of the lake slime, all kind of paled in comparison to the first one, the ugly animated segments between stories, everything about Creepshow 2 screamed average. And when you have a movie as good as Creepshow, you don't want to follow it up with something average. 19 years after Creepshow 2 came a movie titled Creepshow 3, but it doesn't really count. It was a real shit straight-to-DVD anthology movie that managed to buy the Creepshow name. This film's not recommended. Thankfully, films like Tales from the Dark Side and Trick or Treat really helped hold us over until we got something good. And oh boy, did we get something good. Shudder, for those of you who don't know, is a streaming service with a focus on mysteries, thrillers, horror, and just general weird things. They announced in early 2018 that they'd be making a Creepshow series for their service. I was originally cautiously optimistic upon hearing the news. Greg Nicotero, a producer on The Walking Dead, was to be the showrunner, and that was a red flag for me due to The Walking Dead's dubious level of quality. After that initial announcement, everything about the production was pretty quiet, until San Diego Comic-Con, when they premiered a trailer for the show, and people were excited, myself included. A few months after that trailer, and Creepshow finally released its first episodes. What did I think? The first episode of Creepshow was fine. The two stories in the episode had neat concepts and some good effects, but I wasn't too huge on the slow burn both stories decided to take. The first story had a wicked ending with a really great payoff, but I wasn't a huge fan of the second story. Maybe it's something I was missing, but nothing really happened, and the ending kind of felt unsatisfying. Still, for a first episode, I'd say it left a pretty solid impression, and definitely had a lot of care and passion put into it. A week later, episode 2 came out, and this is where it got really good. Episode 2 of Creepshow is everything I could have possibly wanted from this series. Wacky ideas, wonderful production values, and it all oozes personality. The special effects were so good. The first episode had some good effects too, but episode 2 had some really killer things going on. Like this little creature named Bob. I think he's neat. This video is being edited before episode 3 comes out, but I'll be sure to release some video later in the future where I review the whole season. Right now, it's just a first impression, and I'm really happy with what Greg Nicotero has brought to the table, bringing life back to one of my favorite horror movies and doing it with proper respect towards the original. Even the Creep is recreated perfectly here with practical effects. He doesn't talk at all to introduce the shorts, but that's probably for the best. He didn't do that in the original movie, and at that point he would just be a ripoff of the Crypt Keeper. So far, everything I've seen has been wonderful, and I really hope this level of quality is maintained throughout the rest of the 6-episode season. As it stands currently, I'd recommend getting Shudder and watching Creepshow. It's really impressed me so far. Shudder has a free 7-day trial for their service, so use that if you're not too convinced on purchasing a subscription. But if you're into horror as much as I am, you're definitely going to want to subscribe to the platform. No, this video was not sponsored by Shudder, but if they offered me a sponsorship, I'd absolutely take it. It's a fantastic service that I use every day. Thank you for watching the video, everyone. I'm going to try my hardest to get some other videos out for the Halloween season. I'm a lazy piece of shit, so I often procrastinate, but I'm going to try my hardest. Have a happy October, everyone.
Jolting tales of horror. Creepshow. From the author of Carrie, The Shining, and Cujo. And the creator of Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead.